It's Friday night. You hit your local bar like it's a reconnaissance mission. You fast rope in, steady, confident, but the second your boots touch the floor, you feel it. The terrain is rough. Everything that could go wrong does. Bad timing, wrong signals. Off moments stacking on top of each other. Nothing catastrophic, just enough friction to feel like the field turned against you. This is the part men never understand. When small things keep stacking like that, there's always something deeper happening underneath. Not weakness, not failure, not brokenness. It's a blind spot, slow built, silent, unnoticed, until pressure exposes it. And when you deploy half conditioned for long enough, you go numb to the risks. The danger stops feeling like danger. And that numbness is what breaks men. Not one big event, but the accumulation. When the field gets noisy, first do one thing: decompress, breathe, anchor, reset. Give yourself time. Don't make decisions in the static. Reassess once your system clears. Think of DeciznDNA as your quick reaction force when you drop into unfamiliar internal terrain, not against another person, but inside the parts of yourself nobody ever trained you to navigate. Because men grow up conditioned in one direction: perform, win, outshine, do more, be more, prove more, catch the football, make the touchdown, be the strongest, be the fastest, be on top. Every message says the same thing: your value is what you do, not who you are. So men train that part. They overtrain it. They build endurance. They build muscle. They build the physical identity until it becomes the whole identity. But here's the truth. No one told you. You're not broken. There's nothing here to fix. There's simply a muscle you never trained. When one muscle is undertrained, you don't judge it. You don't panic. You train it. And the same thing happens on the inside. Here's the science behind it. When you receive something, praise, attention, validation, your nervous system behaves like a muscle absorbing load. That's eccentric activation. It takes in, it reacts, it's passive. But when you give something, steadiness, presence, character, your system behaves like a muscle contracting with intent. That's concentric force. It moves weight. It changes the environment. It supports something beyond yourself. Most men have spent their entire lives training the absorbing reflex and never training the projecting force. Two arrows, opposing forces, input and output, eccentric and concentric. Most men only ever trained one side, that neglected side, the outward, stabilizing, character-driven side, is the undertrained muscle. And when it's weak, the whole field feels unstable, signals slip, moments feel heavier than they should. You second-guess yourself, you feel off your game, not because you failed, but because you're operating with a muscle that's been ignored your entire life. Here's where the physics come in. Once you start conditioning this undertrained muscle, your internal frequency stabilizes. And when your frequency is steady, you become magnetic. You stop pulling in chaos. You start attracting your caliber, your equal, your true counterpart. When your internal frequency is off, you attract people who are off. But when you stabilize, you only draw in someone who matches your strength, or the polar opposite who completes the circuit. That's magnetism, simple physics. The hard part is this: this muscle is hidden. You can't see it. You can't flex it in the mirror. You can't measure it on a chart. When you break an arm, you can see it heal. You rehab it. You watch the progress. But this internal muscle works differently. You don't see it with your eyes. You see it in your connections. Cleaner moments, smoother interactions, signals that land instead of misfire. That's the physical proof that the internal muscle is coming back online. And once this muscle strengthens, everything shifts. You stop operating solo. You become a true teammate. Connection feels lighter, clearer, more natural. For the first time, it feels like heaven compared to how things used to be. And when you finally feel that this partnership is exactly where you're meant to be, no one could pay you enough to walk away. Not because you're performing, but because you're anchored from the inside out. This isn't repair. This isn't fixing anything. This is training. And this, right here, is the DeciznDNA gym, the place where the undertrained muscle gets built, the place where men develop the strength they were never taught, the place where you stop performing and start becoming an elite operator.